Don't grab the microphone, okay? We'll try it again. Nope. Don't grab the microphone. Hello there. This is Rish Outfield, and this is another episode of Tales of eBay Horror. I sell things on eBay, and a lot of times I have good experiences, but this series is for those times when I have bad experiences. Please ignore the prop. It's just here for more likes. So this week we will tell you the tale of the not quite canceled transaction. So if you've ever bought on eBay or are considering doing so, can I give you just a bit of friendly advice? If you are going to buy something and then you change your mind, or you get a better deal elsewhere, or then you notice something in the description and you say, oh, I don't want this after all, contact the seller and explain and have them cancel your bids. Or even better, if you want to be industrious about it, go through the process of canceling your bid yourself. Most sellers are going to be understanding on something like that, but all sellers are going to prefer that you do that you back out of a transaction before it has ended, than if you wait until the transaction is over. Because you're the high bidder, you have essentially bought something, it's no longer available, you beat out another potential buyer, but now you don't want it. So this seller has to resell the item, relist the item, or adjust their inventory. Every time we sell something, it sucks, huh? Every time we sell something, we have to pay a fee to eBay, and whether you guys pay or not. And the worst thing that you can do, though, is win something, an auction, decide that you don't want it, and don't answer any emails, don't ever communicate with the seller, so that eventually he has to issue a case, a dispute, so he can get his fees back and relist the item. Nobody likes. All right, run along, young lad. These super expensive Japanese dolls have become just, they're so realistic, but they're a handful. The worst thing that you can do is just say nothing. I take it back. There is one thing even worse than that you can do, is say nothing until the seller issues a dispute to cancel the transaction and get their fees back, and then pay for it. We would rather, all of us would rather you not pay at all than do that. That 3 weeks later, now you've paid for the item. Because a lot of sellers would rather just sell it to somebody else. Maybe they've already listed it. In a couple of cases, I had already sold it to someone else. Maybe there was a second chance offer I gave somebody, the second highest bidder, and they took it. And now the first bidder, a month later, has decided to pay for it rather than get a black mark on their record, leaving the seller doubly screwed. Now if you are a total bastard, yes, by all means do these things. But most people aren't. I found it. Why would somebody want to stir up the hornet's nest in that way? I don't know. But currently I'm experiencing one of these things. I don't think I would have done an episode about it if I weren't going through it right now, because it happens so often. It's just something that you shrug off. It's the price of doing business, as some people say. So right now, I had a whole bunch of auctions that ended the same day. Several auctions. Let's say 50, because that's a good number. And right before they ended, like within the last hour or two, I got a bunch of emails from eBay saying, this bid has been canceled. This bid has been canceled. This bid, you guessed it, has been canceled. I think I got five emails from eBay, all saying the same thing. This bid, this, and this have all been canceled from the same bidder. And they will always lie. They always say I didn't intend to bid, which really irritated me for years, but now I've sort of made peace with it. As I've said before and will say again, sellers deal with so many people that they've heard it all. They understand if you bid something, you bid a certain amount, and then when it came due, you thought, oh, shoot, that's more than I thought. I was caught up in the moment. I wanted to outbid that guy. We understand that, but let us know so that we can sell it to that guy. Maybe that's too much to ask, but I don't know. So with this particular guy's case, I guess he was bidding on 6 of my items. And he changed his mind, or he chickened out, or I don't know, the angel of the Lord appeared before him and said, no more buying toys on eBay, son. And he canceled, 2 more canceled, but 1 he forgot to cancel. So he ended up being the high bidder. I sent him an invoice, but I discovered that that it was the same bidder, the same guy who had canceled. So when I sent him the invoice, I thought, oh, there's no chance this guy is going to pay for this. He meant to cancel all of his bids, and then, I would never hear from him again, which is preferable. But this one slipped through, and he's not going to pay for it. And sure enough, a week went by, and he hadn't paid for it. And usually I'll give him a long stretch. I'll give him 10 days. I'll give him 2 weeks. Because, again, if you ever buy on eBay and you don't have the money, but you will next week, let the seller know this. Dollars to donuts, they will thank you. They will be glad. There's like, oh, okay, well, I wanted the money now, but I will be happy to take the money next week, rather than never knowing, or rather than never getting it. I sent this guy an unpaid item dispute strike email where the guy hadn't paid, and I didn't think he would. And right before that expired, the transaction would close and I would get my fees back. He did pay for the item. And so I guess that's a happy ending. I guess I should be happy about it. I packed it up and sent it his way and hoped to never deal with the guy a second time. But just this week I got an email from, it wasn't even an email, he had issued a dispute that he never received the item. And it didn't surprise me. It's this guy, it's the same guy who canceled 5 transactions right before they ended. But now he's saying that he didn't receive it. And it bummed me out a little bit because, one headache I can deal with. But at this point, I think we're dealing with 3 headaches. So I looked, I issued a tracking number. I created a tracking number when I first sold it to him. I have learned my lesson, right? And I looked, and the guy is right. It hadn't arrived at the destination. I don't have an explanation for it, except for that I did send it, and it's just bad luck that it hasn't arrived. Or, is there any other explanation? Could this guy, along with being a near deadbeat and a canceller, have provided a phony address? I don't have an explanation for it. And it doesn't have a good ending to the story. Maybe the good ending would be the bidder was a ghost. He had created an eBay account from the grave. No, like I said, there's no ending to the story. But one other thing though is right before I started this video, I did check to see, and it's the package is in the town where the guy lives, but for some reason it hasn't been delivered, and maybe it is a bad address, or maybe they tried to deliver it and it was not possible. It's one of those where there's a gate and you can't get to the apartment, or whatever it might be. I don't know. But as I was checking over there on the computer, there was an auction that I looked at and I considered bidding on the item. And in the description, it said, "You get everything you see. Bid with confidence." It's actually 2 sentences, but it was all 1 sentence with an exclamation point at the end and no comma. When I first started buying on eBay years ago, I saw this, bid with confidence, on auctions, and I didn't know what it meant. I saw that, and then I saw it on another auction, and then I saw it on another auction, and then I saw it on another auction. I couldn't believe it. That for some reason, this had become industry speak. Bid with confidence. And yeah, I have to say, I have no idea what that word means. Of course, if we had Morgan Freeman here to help us. Oh, Morgan Freeman, everybody. Go ahead.
Bid with confidence. You know, I don't have any idea what that means. Oh, I know what you think it means, Sonny. To me, it's just a made-up phrase, a sleazy used car salesman's word, so that online resellers like yourself can create a username and sell their junk and have a job.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. I really appreciate him dropping by. He's a real talent. He was on the electric company. That's it. I couldn't do a whole episode about bid with confidence, but words can't describe how much I hate that phrase. It means absolutely nothing. Again, you think that it means, oh, this is going to be a safe transaction. Don't you worry none. But it means nothing. No. Somebody having 14,000 positive feedbacks, that's a hint that you could bid with confidence. But just writing this, it's like the Adam Sandler movie where they put "going out of business" on their window, even though they're not. Anyhow, I'm sorry. I got off on a tangent there. I've always hated that phrase. I hate it now. I hate the people that use it. I hate you a little bit too. But I'm just saying that. Maybe we'll have a more terrifying story next time on Tales of eBay Horror. Boy, that was the worst kid.
Who?
So if you...
Let him play.
So if you've ever bought on...